In a town where whispers were louder than screams, a legend was born. It was said that on the darkest of nights, when the moon hid behind the clouds, the silence would echo. And in that echoing silence, one could hear the cries of the past. In the quaint town of Larkspur, nestled between the towering mountains and dense forests, people lived simple lives. They were a close-knit community, where everyone knew everyone, and secrets were hard to keep. But there was one secret, one legend, that was passed down through generations, whispered in hushed tones, and spoken of only in the dead of night. Old Man Jenkins, the town's historian and storyteller, would often gather the children around a roaring campfire and narrate tales of adventure, love, and mystery. But there was one story he told only once a year, on the eve of All Hallows' Eve. It was the story of the echoing silence. Many, many years ago, he began, his voice low and raspy. Larkspur was not the peaceful town you know today. It was a place of mystery and magic, where the boundaries between the living and the dead were thin. In the heart of the town stood a grand mansion, known as the Hollow Manor. It was said to be built on sacred ground, where the spirits of the forest once roamed freely. The manor was owned by the Hollow family, a lineage of powerful sorcerers who were both feared and respected. One fateful night, Lady Eleanor Hollow, the last of her line, performed a forbidden ritual. She sought to summon the spirits of the forest and bind them to her will. But the spirits, angered by her audacity, turned on her. The ritual went horribly wrong, and a dark curse was cast upon the manor. From that night on, the manor was abandoned, but it is said that every year, on the eve of All Hallows' Eve, the spirits return. And if you listen closely, in the dead of night, you can hear the echoing silence, the cries of Lady Eleanor, forever trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. The children would listen, wide-eyed and captivated, hanging on to every word. The story of the echoing silence became a rite of passage. As they grew older, many dismissed it as just a tale, a figment of Old Man Jenkins' imagination. But there were some who believed, some who claimed to have heard the echoing silence. Lucy was a curious and adventurous girl. She had grown up listening to the tales of the echoing silence and was determined to uncover the truth. On the eve of her 18th birthday, she decided to venture into the Hollow Manor. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of determination, Lucy made her way through the dense forest that surrounded the manor. The once grand mansion now stood in ruins, covered in vines and moss. The air was thick with an eerie stillness. As she stepped inside, the temperature dropped. The walls were lined with faded portraits of the Hollow family, their eyes seeming to follow her every move. She could feel the weight of history, the burden of the curse. Hours passed as Lucy explored the manor, uncovering old letters, diaries, and artifacts. But it was in the basement that she made a chilling discovery. A circle of candles, long extinguished, surrounded an ancient book. The pages were filled with incantations and rituals, and in the center was a drawing of the Hollow Manor. Lucy realized that the legend was true. The ritual had been performed here, in this very room. And as the clock struck midnight, she heard it, the echoing silence, the cries of Lady Eleanor. The next morning, the townspeople found the Hollow Manor in flames. The fire raged on, consuming everything in its path. But amidst the chaos they heard it, the echoing silence. Lucy was never seen again. Some say she became a part of the legend, forever trapped in the echoing silence. Others believe she broke the curse, freeing Lady Eleanor and the spirits of the forest. In the days that followed Lucy's disappearance, the town of Larkspur was abuzz with whispers and speculations. The legend of the echoing silence, once a tale told around campfires, had become all too real for the residents. Lucy's best friend, Clara, refused to believe the stories that Lucy had become a part of the legend. She remembered the countless nights they had spent together, discussing the mysteries of the Hollow Manor and dreaming of adventures. Clara was determined to find out what had happened to her friend. She began her investigation by visiting Old Man Jenkins. The old historian, with his vast knowledge of the town's history, might have some clues about the manor and its curse. Jenkins welcomed Clara into his home, a small cottage filled with books, artifacts, and relics from the past. Over a cup of herbal tea, Clara shared her concerns and her determination to find Lucy. Jenkins sighed. The Hollow Manor has always been a place of mystery. Many have ventured inside, lured by the legend, but not all have returned. The spirits of the forest are not to be trifled with. He handed Clara an old journal, its pages yellowed with age. This belonged to Lady Eleanor Hollow, he said. It might provide some answers. Clara spent days poring over the journal, deciphering Lady Eleanor's elegant handwriting. The entries spoke of her loneliness, her desire for power, and her obsession with the spirits of the forest. But one entry, dated the night of the ill-fated ritual, caught Clara's attention. "Tonight, I will perform the ritual. The spirits will be mine to command. But there is a price to pay, a sacrifice to be made. If I fail, I will be trapped in the echoing silence, forever." Clara realized that the key to finding Lucy and breaking the curse lay in understanding the ritual and the sacrifice Lady Eleanor had mentioned. With renewed determination, Clara decided to retrace Lucy's steps. She ventured into the Hollow Manor, the weight of its history pressing down on her. The portraits, the artifacts, and the ancient book in the basement, they all held pieces of the puzzle. In the basement, Clara noticed something Lucy had missed, a small locket half buried under the rubble. Inside was a portrait of Lady Eleanor, looking much younger, and a lock of hair. Clara remembered reading about hair being used in ancient rituals as a conduit for magic. With the locket in hand, Clara returned to Jenkins. Together they pieced together the ritual. Lady Eleanor had tried to bind the spirits using her own life force, but the spirits had resisted, trapping her in the echoing silence. To break the curse, Clara would have to perform the ritual again, but with one crucial difference. She would have to offer the spirits something they desired, a token of peace. The locket with Lady Eleanor's hair was the key. It represented her essence, her connection to the manor and the spirits. On the next eve of All Hallows' Eve, Clara stood in the basement of the Hollow Manor, the circle of candles around her. She began chanting the incantations, the locket in her hand. The air grew cold, and the echoing silence enveloped her. She could hear Lady Eleanor's cries, and another voice, faint but familiar, Lucy's. As the ritual reached its climax, Clara offered the locket to the spirits. A blinding light filled the room, and the echoing silence was shattered. When the light faded, Clara found herself outside the manor, Lucy by her side. The curse was broken, and the spirits of the forest were at peace. The Hollow Manor, once a symbol of fear and mystery, became a testament to the power of friendship and determination. And the legend of the echoing silence, while still told around campfires, now had a hopeful ending.